Rashmiji, you are on mute. Kindly unmute and begin.
Suswagatam, welcome everyone. During the difficult time of this COVID pandemic that has ravaged the world, India is facing a serious second wave. We thought what would be a better time than this to gain more knowledge about how we can improve our long term health and immunity. So, we have today a very eminent guest, Professor Tanujaji Nesri. In a minute, I will introduce Professor Tanujaji, who actually doesn't need any introduction. Before that, I just wanted to briefly mention about Ahar Kranti. So, Ahar Kranti is an initiative undertaken by GIST or Global Indian Scientists and Technocrats Forum, Vigyan Bharti, Vigyan Prasar, Prabhas, and we have several other partners, including CSIR, with us. The launch happened on Varsha Pratipada, which was 13th of April, by Honorable Minister Dr. Harshvardhan ji. After a wonderful panel discussion by many eminent personalities, we were enlightened by the words of wisdom. Among them was Tanuja ji, whose words highlighted the importance of and the heritage of Ayurveda in our civilization. So the question we want to ask today is how can we take Ayurveda to the next level, to new heights? Giving a very brief introduction about Professor Tanuja Ji Nesri, I would like to mention that she has an MD and PhD in Ayurveda with a specialization in Dravya Guna Vignan and from Gujarat Ayurveda University. And she is currently the director of All India Institute of Ayurveda. She is also the head of the Department of Translational Research and Biostatistics. She is the chair for the Health Sector Subskill Council for Ayush under the Ministry of Ayush, Government of India. She is also additional director of academics and medicine superintendent at the Chaudhary Brahma Prakash Ayurved Charak Sansthan. Previously, she was the first female principal of the Tilak Medical Hospital in Pune, Maharashtra, and she is a recipient of several awards and has a teaching experience and she has a great passion for teaching. One of the awards that I would like to mention is the Harihar Mukherjee Memorial Award for remarkable contribution to ethnopharmacology. So, with this very brief introduction, which doesn't really do justice to Dr. Tanujaji's contributions to the field of Ayurveda, I would like to ask her the first question as to what was the decision that made Tanujaji pursue Ayurveda when there were so many other opportunities, and what was it that made you choose the teaching profession when there are so many other lucrative opportunities, when there are other potential things to do? What was your motivation behind choosing Ayurveda? That is something we would love to hear about.
Thank you. Namaste to everyone. At the outset, I'm really thankful to Dr. Mirajkar and all the eminent ladies who are in the who are in this panel, and also to Gist, to Prabhas, to Vigyan Bharati, and to everyone who really are the proud, really, who are the proud citizens and who are the proud of the Bharat. So, Namaste from All India Institute of Ayurveda. Namaste from the Ayurveda fraternity to everyone, and we wish you everyone stay healthy and stay safe in this critical time. And very rightly said, the Ayurveda, it is a knowledge system of health and happiness. And this exactly really motivated me. And when we really understood, when I was a child during the childhood, during the schooling age, uh, our family physician was none other than a very eminent Vaidya, Vaidyaraj Phadkeji. And I have seen from common cold to cancer, even from enteric fever, typhoid fewer communicable diseases to non-communicable diseases were very, very efficiently treated by our family physician, that was the Vaidya Phadkeji, and that was the nucleus and the motivation which really pursued. And again, it was the family parents, they really wanted someone to be a doctor, physician, and that was earlier, it was, I really know, I can say that it was uh, like having a degree of a doctor, like in pursuance of the conventional medicine allopathy. This was the, again, at that time, for 35 years back, it was the choice to become a doctor, second choice. But when I got the admission, I thought that I was the luckiest person to receive admission to Ayurveda, because then there all my senior teachers and the physicians, those gurujis, it is a guru shishya parampara. They really inspired me, motivated me by their, by as a role model, that it is not only science of life, but it is a knowledge system of healthy and happy life. It really touches to each and every ramification of the life, human life. It is not only a medical science, it is a spiritual, social, philosophical science, and it creates the mind, harmony between mind, body, and soul, that we have understood as a student, as a physician, as a teacher, and through our teacher, my Guruji. And one thing which I really would like to share here, my teacher used to teach us, it is the science which creates harmony within ourselves and harmony with the outside universe. Purusho ayam loka samhitaha, and it was the concept of one health, which was imbibed in us, and through the training and teaching and whatever the experiences were shared, and that's what we have understood, that when the outside environment is clear, clean, and the healthy, everyone is healthy, then our own self is healthy, and we enjoy the healthy status. That was the one thing which we really pursued. And as a teacher, if you can say, the oldest samhitas, the classical text of the Ayurveda, Charaka Samhita, that has been written as a narrative of a Guru Shishya Parampara. That's the Atreya Uvacha. The Atreya has taught to his disciple Charak and many six disciples, and that is how that has been narrated uh, as a message for the healthy and happy life. And teaching is my profession. I have traveled many countries, to US and to Connecticut School and to Boston, Harvard Medical School, and many others, and many parts of the UK, Germany, and many countries. So I can teach continuously for 6 hours, morning to evening. So that's the passion. And I have realized, and what I have seen, that if we uh, treat one person, his life is saved. But if we teach and develop one doctor, I think he can save the lives of millions. And that satisfaction and happiness I have seen in thousands of my students. So that passion I really like to pursue till the end of life, until I can do it. Thank you.
Uh, thank you, Tanvi. Just want to acknowledge joining of Mananiya Jayanta Sahasrabudhe and for the audience, he is a Sangha Pracharak and he is also the National Organizing Secretary for Vijnana Bharati. And under his guidance, we are all working with his guidance. GIST has gone out of Bharat to many countries. With that, I will let have Dr. Shamalaji ask the question.
Hello, madam.
Namaste.
We are very glad to have you today, and you are the number one authority in the country and probably in the world. You have seen passionate students. You have interacted with academics people, corporate people. We want to know your vision for Ayurveda. How can we all and you as a leader can lead Ayurveda into the future and accomplish our vision as Vishwaguru?
Thank you, Dr. Shamalaji. I congratulate for your book, very wonderful book we have gone through. So congratulations.
Thank,
And
thank you very much, madam.
Sri Jain Sahasra Buddheji, I would like to acknowledge his contribution and thank you for this opportunity. Uh, the one I would like to say, I'm really humbled uh, for the introduction. And the vision, we can say, Ayurveda is a not only medical science, as I mentioned, it is a knowledge system of healthy and happy life. And as such, it touches to each and every aspect of human life. When we say that the concept of the vision, if we ask, someone asks, what is the vision for the future? I think this is the concept of one health of Ayurveda that needs to be communicated to everyone. And it is not communication, it is to be practiced. Because in this current pandemic situation, if we really concentrate on this aspect of one health, in the outside universe, all four aspects that is vitiated, Jal, Vayu, then Kala and Desh, if those are cleared, purified, the outside environment is good. It is the best. The viral load will be minimized, and that in that sense, our own selves, our own health also becomes the healthy. So this is the vision. Ayurveda is spiritual, philosophical, mental that gives the mental health, spiritual health, social health, and also physical health. The prevention is a strength of Ayurveda, swasthasya swastha rakshana. If we follow good diet, good lifestyle, then it is, if we have a good thought process, follow the very good, the circadian rhythm, biological clock with good diet, lifestyle, then the rest, ahara, nidra, and brahmacharya. I think the future of the medicine is a no medicine. And if this concept is promoted, it is the module of self maintenance of our own health. Let you be your own doctor with a good a balance of mind, body, and health. I think that is the one message and the awareness that we have to really create to each and every human being across this globe. And that is the greatest gift of India and from Ayurveda to the humanity. And that's the soft power of India. The second is Ayurveda is a second objective of Ayurveda is Aturasya Vyadhi Parimoksha. That means it gives the complete holistic solution for the complete cure of the disease. It is not only non-communicable diseases. Ayurveda is not only for the chronic diseases, but this current pandemic has really taught us a lesson that it is equally effective for the communicable diseases also. So if we really integrate technology to this classical wisdom, so that Ayurveda, even though it is a classical, it becomes the contemporary with the integration of technology. And this is the vision we really want to make Ayurveda as contemporary and as relevant to, and this is the one which is really mm, be the mainstream medicine, and that has the potential to address all the health challenges which the entire world is facing. So this is the vision that it is to be supported with the technology. It has to be create the science, the evidence. Even though it has got its scientific tool and the evidence within its own science, but if the entire world wants those scientific principle, though with the scientific principle, if the principle theory and practices are translated into the language which entire world understands, I think that is the way ahead, that Ayurveda becomes the medicine for the coming century, and that will address the health issues of each and every being in this world. And that's how the one last vision which we have as it touches to the human line, a human life. So it is not only restricted to the medical fraternity, but starting from the agriculture, starting from the cultivation to application for all entire supply chain management. I think each and everyone should own this. Uh, Agriculturist, nutritionist, dietitianist, pharmacy, pharmacology, technology, IIT, IT, AI, technology. So each and everyone, it really works on this. Basic and applied scientists, they work on these solutions. I think it is the one, each and every aspect of the human life will become healthy and also happy. It is not that only Ayurvedic Vaidya should do the science. The scientists, they take the Ayurvedic lead and develop the technology which will make everyone more healthy. I think that should be the vision. Thank you.
Thank you. We are fortunate to have you, our leader.
Thank you.
So, just for the audience purpose, Dr. Shamla Prasad is a renowned Ayurvedic physician, rendering her medical services with pure Ayurveda medicines. She is also recipient of Lord Dhanvantari Award. Now, I will have Prafulla Krishnaji. He is CEO of COSIR, and he works with the Fortune 500 companies in terms of accelerating complex workflow using artificial intelligence. Prafullaji.
Thank you, Yanuji. Namaskar, Tanujaji. Namaskar to everyone. Tanujaji, what you said right now about how to bring together the classical in the contemporary context, that was something that was really, really appealing to me. Here for the launch event, you were with us in the panel discussion. So let me give you a quick update on what we are thinking about on the Ahar Kranti team side, and then would love to get your comments and would love to see how we can work together. So if you're okay, let me just quickly share some slides with you.
Sure, sir.
Let's see, here we go. So we are very lucky to have you today for this Ayurveda Manthan. As you know, one of the aims of this Ahar Kranti is to establish Bharat, in addition to being Ayushman, Vidwan, Krishi Pradhan, Samriddh, and Vishwaguru, but as an Ayurvedic Bharat, right? I mean, I'm preaching to the choir, the culinary diversity, the going back to our roots, the microbiome constitution of our guts, everything points towards the need to go back to our traditional ways. And as you said, Ayurveda is not about medicine; it's a knowledge of Ayu, right? So to make that happen, what we are doing is that we are making multiple educational modules, which, with the help of Vigyan Bharati, Prabhas, and other partners, we hope to take out to different teachers and NGO workers, students, families, and eventually the whole society. I'll give you a flair of some kind of the trainer modules that we are making. So for example, the first, let me talk about the train the trainer modules for teachers, right? We are talking about we start with basics. What is nutritionally balanced diet? What are the importance and benefits? What are the consequences? So the other side of it. Then let's talk about what are we doing? What are our food choices today? And the whole idea about ahar hi aushadhi, right? If you're eating food as a medicine, that's great. Otherwise, you'll have to eat a medicine as a food, right? Then exploring more in the kind of our contemporary trends in terms of processed food, the grain-heavy food that we are consuming these days, the food with preservatives, artificial dyes, how does that impact the overall health? And then once we have this knowledge, how can these teachers further share the knowledge with family members, friends, relatives, their students, of course? So a kind of a holistic module to help them train others, right? So teacher is a trainer and we're trying to train the trainer. Similarly, what kind of innovative methods we can encourage, right? I mean, every parent goes to this thing, how do we make our kid eat healthy, right? And teachers have an additional responsibility because they have to make their students eat healthy also. Gamification, and again, this goes back to your the part about taking the classical knowledge in contemporary ways. How can we gamify? How can we come up with online and print collaterals that can essentially help our teachers train their students, which again goes to family and society, right? So that's one module. Another module, I won't go in all these details, is essentially training the volunteers who reach out to these teachers, who reach out to other families, who reach out to women while they're expecting, right? This Ayurveda, as you said, is from embryo to end of life. E2E is a new definition here. And so as they're expecting, or even before they are expecting, how do we make sure that the mother and the baby are suposhit? And then as the baby is born and as they develop, the brain develops and the fetus develops further, how do we make sure that they are given the appropriate nutrients, right? So we are hoping that our partner organizations, Vigyan Bharti is obviously completely aligned with us, but other partner organizations also have these volunteers, and we are making a module for training the volunteers. These are train the trainer modules. Of course, the work doesn't stop here. On the screen, what you see is, there are multiple modules we are planning. So for training the teachers, then actually equipping, number 3 over there is equipping the teacher for different age groups. I mean, a kindergartner learns in a very different way than a high schooler. And so making that happen, training for women, as I talked about, expecting mothers, lactating mothers, and also training the healthcare workers. I mean, our country has so many nurses and healthcare workers who are so invested in the overall health of their populations that doing that would be a great initiative on its own. And similarly for getting the Sattvic mindset in terms of our diets, etc. So these are the plans. The top 2 are something we are already working on. Let me pause here, comment on what you think about it. And in general, broadly, right, not just these plans, when you think about the initiative Ahar Kranti, GIST is, of course, part of the leading team. Prabhas and Vigyan Bharti are there. Vigyan Prasad is there. How can we all work together with AIIA and make both Ahar Kranti successful and Ayurveda the new way of thinking about everything?
Really a great initiative through Ahar Kranti of the GIST and the Prabhas to Vigyan Bharti. It's I think it's very close to the work what we are doing at All India Institute of Ayurveda and under the Ministry of Ayush. Ministry of Ayush also has initiated a Poshan Abhiyan and also in partnership with the Ministry of Women and Child Development. I just would like to share that is what the great the chart what you displayed, starting from TOT, that is the teachers training module, trainers training module. So we have developed many programs, such programs as Let Food Be Your Medicine, Pathyahar, and many other programs where we have trained teachers training program also, to the chef, to the dietitian, to the nutritionists, and various sectors of the society. And we have the module called as Ahara Rakshak, Ahara Sahayak. So having the various different categories, starting from the cook to the chef to the therapist to the dietitian to the housewives and different sectors of the society, what you have already mentioned. The basic thing I would like to highlight here, because during the panel discussion, which was witnessed by the great experts and luminaries of the society, when even the Ahara Kranti, the modules which are really developed through AI-based module, what you are mentioning, what I would appeal here, that the concept of wholesome diet, Poshak diet, Poshan, and the wholesome diet according to Ayurveda is little different. We cannot compare orange with apple. Uh, no doubt it is the calorie, it is also protein, fat, and the carbohydrate and micro nourishment and all the aspects which have to understand of the nutrition and the dietetics. But Ayurveda considers as a 6 days, 4 forms, uh, that is a wholesome food, Samatol Ahar, the concept of the wholesome food that we have to consider, because if we consider as a one pot meal, having all those calories and the protein and every balance of everything, but if it is only one taste, I think that is not the wholesome diet. So when we prepare the module, this concept needs to be promoted. In this COVID pandemic, there is a very beautiful concept of Ayurveda. It is not the like the pharmaceutics, the pharmacology and the pharmaceutics for the drug is a different. In Ayurveda also, food pharmacology and food pharmaceutics in the form of uh, food formats is little different. And there is a beautiful concept called as Yavago. My doctor friends will appreciate it most, those who have Ayurveda background. But in the special condition called as asthma or Shwasa cough, cold, common cold, asthma, and dry cough, and when in the cytokine storm in COVID pandemic, during 5th to 10th day, when there is more cough and cold and asthma like condition, bronchitis, it is not only food to be given or not only medicine to be given, but it's a beautiful food format called as Yavagu, where the medicine is cooked, supplements is cooked with the soups and the gruels, and that's called as Yavagu. So this is very beautifully that takes care of portion and nutrition. Also, simultaneously, it cures the disease. It has got a bronchodilator effect that is good for your lung, that relieves your cough and cold. So there are hundreds and thousands of recipes which are traditional recipes. We considered it as a dadimas, nanimas, nuska, ajibaisa patwa in Marathi we call it, and it is the traditional recipe, traditional healthy recipe, and we are trying to find out science into it. I think that those modules have to be revived. The science behind those modules needs to be taught to the healthcare workers, to the TOT and modules that have to be developed. I just can tell a simple solution, like there is a red dot for the non-vegetarian food, and the green dot, even illiterate person can understand that it is a vegetarian. So why can't we have three dots? Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Anything which is one dot, it's good for the Vata dominant condition, Pitta dominant condition. Or six tastes. What are the tastes which are highlighted? Can we create those recipes so that entire scenario, the awareness and this Ayurveda healthy food market scenario across the globe will entirely change. When we say that healthy food, it is less calorie, but Ayurveda has many very tasty yet healthy recipes made out of Guru Cha Apatarpan. Poshan is not something which really brings excess, but it brings excess to less and less to excess. It brings the balance, which is more is becomes less, and which is less that is brought to the normal level. So this correct Poshana concept needs to be created through the awareness, and maybe with the help of All India Institute of Ayurveda and many scientists under the Ministry of Ayush National Institute, Jaipur, they are taking the mandate, and many 700 institutes. We have the teachers, so with the teachers, we have the experts. So we commit ourselves that we will be definitely the partner in creating the module which can be taught and which can really, through the AI based application, we can really create the application where, and what you mentioned about three medias, that is the print, audio, and video, because we have whatever we prepare in the kitchen, we really just Google search, and there is a YouTube, there is a video of how to make the recipes. We can tell you how we make Yavagu for the common cold, Yavagu for the fever, and a tasty Yavagu which will be helpful in obesity and many other
Right.
conditions. So we will be happy to partner.
This
Thank
is
you.
fantastic, Tanuja. Thank you very much. This is we'll definitely follow up offline and with your permission, start working together. What is the role of an Ayurved practitioner in this scheme of things?
Very good, because Ayurved practitioner is the one who judiciously use and who judiciously select the food which is considered as a pathya, because the food is customized to the need of the patient, condition of the disease, and very important, the preferences. Pathya is the one which should come from the food habit, food preferences of a person. And that is the Ayurveda physician, Vaidya role is very important, because considering the digestive capacity, that is Agni of a person, he is the one who selects and he is the advocate who will tell this is good for your health in this particular condition and in this quantity and during this time. Vaidya is the one who can tell us that the dahi curd should not be taken at night, but in certain conditions like diarrhea, Vaidya is the one who can tell us that the dahi curd should be taken with the black pepper and adding avla and moong ki dal during the diet, so that like Vaidya is the one, physician is the one who can judiciously use ahara as a aushad. Let food be your medicine. If food is taken judiciously, there is no need of medicine. And that is the Vaidya can tell us. If we have 1 minute, I can tell you, share the story of one Vaidya who really used to treat thousands of patients of diabetes and its complications with only combination of two dietary substances, that is turmeric and avla, Maheshu Nishamalki. And one person tell that he is charging more than 1,000 rupees. He is just using turmeric with avla, but it was his wisdom. Nobody knew that avla and haldi to be taken at night with warm water really relieves and brings down the complication of diabetes mellitus. So this is the Vaidya who will definitely tell you how judiciously you use ahara as aushad, and that is exactly the motive of ahara kranti. That's what I really
No, thank
perceive.
you. Thank you, Raj. You'll be happy to know that the food charts that we are preparing for Ahar Kranti have those three indications for every food item. Cuff with
Great.
the so that we are kind of already moving in that direction. Yoloji, I will hand it over to you again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your answers.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Prafulaji. Just a request for the audience. If you have any questions, you can kindly post it on the chart so that we will take the questions appropriately. So, Tanuja ji, I have one question. Actually, there are a
Sure.
couple of more, but I will start with one. So, Ayurveda is so informative, rich in knowledge. But from your point of view, why the system is sidelining Ayurveda in spite of all scientific evidences provided, and every research that has conducted shows the benefits of the herb and how potent they are in curing the diseases. I would like to change the word curing uh, because the traditional medicine, allopathy, we all believe that it is going to treat the symptoms. But on the other hand, Ayurveda is known to go to the root of the problem and to cure the disease by itself. So, your comments, response.
Well, I will be happy to to respond to your question, which is very very relevant. Ayurveda is a not science of cure. What you said is true. It is the science of healing, because it helps everyone to heal within himself and herself. It is the journey from illness to wellness but gives happiness also, because that gives the added advantage. It really gives you the holistic health, which is sustainable, and which complete health, that is a mental, physical, and spiritual. And person feels enthused, and he feels that he is from the worries and also healed within himself. The swasthya, the health, is not the thing which can be brought by a pill from the pharmacist shop. I'm not feeling well and I want health, and that needs to be brought from the pharmacy shop. No, because Ayurveda is a 5V medicine. That is a participatory medicine. It is predictive, preventive, promotional, and predictive everything. But that where the participation from within, from oneself, is very, very important. You have to bring certain change to your lifestyle, your dietary habit, your thought process, and with herbal intervention, safe intervention, you really heal within yourself. So I think people want quick fix. My headache, then you need some analgesic. Ayurveda also has quick fix, but to heal within yourself, your participation is very important. And I think that message needs to be communicated. Those solutions are very simple, very precise, not very complicated, but your mindset needs to be changed. That is number one. Second, the simple yet precise solution needs to be promoted, awareness needs to be created, and more important, even though it is a holistic, I think we need to integrate those scientific evidences into the conventional and the mainstream medicine. That needs more awareness, more marketing of the scientific evidences needs to be done, more awareness needs to be created so that masses understand, public at a large understands these simple solutions are there for a complicated complications, complicated illness. We can also have a better cure, better outcome by adding simple solutions. Thank you.
Great, great. Um, as Dr. Rashmiji mentioned in the beginning, we are going through this very difficult situation of COVID. Um so, do you have some suggestion in terms of people who are at home, kind of house arrested with all the things going around? Do you have any suggestion about some nutritive food that people can use at home during this corona infection time?
Sure. First important thing, corona, there is a lot of stress, agony, and restlessness. And what will happen next? So, a lot of fear is also there, anxiety is there. I would like to appeal to everyone that even though in India there is a major outbreak and many people are dying, that's unfortunate part. But good thing which media is not highlighting, even in the second wave, first wave, the mortality rate was 3%. In the second wave, which is more contagious and on a larger extent, a more population, the positivity rate is also very high. But 99% people, they are in All India Institute COVID Health Center, 99% patients are cured. I mean to say positive to negative, symptom free, and mentally, physically, they are fit also with less post COVID complication. So I would like to appeal that it is the holistic approach towards management needs to be adopted. It is the good food, good diet, good lifestyle, good rest that needs those who are in the home isolation. They should really have a fresh and a good food. Ahar is very important. More important to add, to integrate with the supplements. Those who really have a good antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and the antiviral property like tulsi, holy basil, because whatever water, warm water you are taking, you can add tulsi leaves to that. You can add dhana and jeera to that. You can add pudina to that. That is a medicated flavor. Water can be taken. Ayush Ministry has popularized Ayush Kadha. That's nothing but herbal tea, which is a combination of 5 herbs. That is a cinnamon, dalchini, ginger, that is a dry ginger, shunthi, black pepper, kali mirch, that should be 1/4 together. One part should be dalchini, and to that you can add holy basil, that's tulsi, and black resin, black currant, or munakka. So, and whatever if anyone has hot temperament, pitta prakriti and hyperacidity, then you can add cardamom, that is a elaichi. You can also add avla to that or guduchi also to that. So these herbal tea, because we are taking for last 1 year continuously morning and evening, and that is a rich of the spices also, but it really is a has a uh, very good immunomodulatory potential, and that strengthens your immune system. That's our experience. We are safe. So with simple solutions like by adding avla, you can strengthen your immune system. So morning evening you can have add that. You can take turmeric latte, that is a haldiwala doodh, adding turmeric to the milk. So these are simple solutions you can add on to your existing diet, and there are many other simple herbs like licorice, estimadu, or ashwagandha, Withania somnifera, guduchi, shatavari, whatever, whichever herbs are available. And in India now, in this season, even as a prophylaxis in our tradition, neem is to be taken abundantly as a prophylaxis and prevention. You can also take neem in a powder form, in a tablet form, or juice, whatever is available. That also has a very good prophylactic effect. So these are some of the solutions, and we are propagating Chavanprash, Avla juice, Avla Muropa, Avla with ginger. So in any form, Avla or Avla and Haldi in the obese patient, comorbid patient, they can take it. Those who have more cough and cold, they can take ajwain or pudina steam inhalation twice in a day, and gargling with turmeric and that is salt and warm water, gargling morning and evening. That really helps preventing a replication of the virus in the throat itself. The principle is that in the first 5 days, where there is a more virosity and the virulence, then you should really stop more replication. That is the principle. So you should prevent from nose to stroke, a throat. You should prevent the entry to the lung, and that we can achieve by right action at right time and with addition of the supplements. Thank you.
Wonderful. This is a very straightforward question. And the question is, we all know benefits of yoga. We all know to certain extent the benefits of Ayurveda. Now the question is, uh, do you see that Ayurveda can become a commonplace, something like yoga studios around the country, every street corner, and things like that?
Uh, I I think that considering Ayurveda is not very light, but it's a dream that there can be Ayurveda restaurant where the healthy recipes are being served. There are many nutritionists, more diet experts. They are practicing Ayurveda way how it is done. I can see that. I we have There can be a lifestyle coach. They can really tell us what is the dinacharya lifestyle. There can be a sleep clinic, somnology. They can really Ayurveda offers the best solution to induce sound sleep. So I can see this is the vision. These principles of the Swastha Vrutta, healthy lifestyle, there can be a separate clinic. Why not? We can have, instead of junk food, my simple vision that the last corner, even the our help, domestic help, can afford. India's last person can afford 5 rupees uncle chips. Chips they can afford. Our vision is that the last person in India and across the globe can offer the healthy food, at least one or two dishes, which are quick fix. Everyone, common man can afford it, and that gives a good health. Why not? That can be our vision. Tasty, yummy, but healthy. That should be our vision.
TYH, tasty, yummy, and healthy. Very good, very good. Now, in Bharat, the new education policy is being drafted, and a lot of work, lots of individuals, lots of institutions are thinking about it. The question is, uh, can Ayurveda, the nutrition and the benefits, and healthy lifestyle, healthy eating, food as medicine, all those things, is, to your understanding, something being considered to be included in the new education policy?
I think yes, because catch them young is the principle. If we understand, we knew many name of the scientists. Um, Even I know the Aristotle, Galileo, and many other Newton also. But why are youngsters in the school going children? They if they understand Atreya, they understand Charak, Sushruta, and Bhagavad, and they understand some principle and theory practices of healthy food, six taste, and some person, even youngsters, school going age says that madhur atyadhik khane se, if I take excessive sweet food, then my cough will be increased. I have a common cold and cough, and I should take some pungent and bitter like shunthi and ginger. So I think these small principles and keeping the environment clean, why we need more O2 and ozone? If I have more neem, entire world talks about pollution level in Delhi, but no one talks about how many number of neem trees Delhi have. But our youngsters, they understand the importance of the healthy trees, Ayurveda principle, one health principle in the school going age, primary age school. They will talk about Charak, Sushrut, and Vagbhat. Then they will pursue. Why can't they pursue themselves to become like Charak, Sushrut, and Vagbhat of this age? Future ambassador of life, ambassador of the healthy and happy life. That's what new education policy should integrate, and they can start Ayurveda at primary education level.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, there is a Sanskrit word called Viruddha, Ahar, and in English, the closest translation, I believe, is non-compatible foods. So this is going to be a slightly broader question because food has some value and its nutrition. Then comes the preparation, how it is prepared. That's going to help whether to retain the nutrition value or kill it completely. And then there has to be some kind of assurance that something is safe, it is okay to eat this way, okay to do that way. Some of these are, it's a general concept. So I'm going to be challenging you, if I use the word challenge, that in the platform of Ahara Kranti, as we are going through these modules and train the teachers, train the volunteers so that they can go around with the population, the students, and the families, something like that. What are your thoughts in terms of nutritional value as is versus cooking and the safety and some of the things, as well as Viruddha Ahar, non-compatible? I know it's a very broad question, but I am sure
Yes,
you would be able to answer it.
it is very relevant question on this platform of Ahara Kranti because it is not the wholesome food ingredients, but the time at what you take, how you take, and the when you take, and the order of taking. Everything is matters a lot because according to Ayurveda, incompatible food non-compatibility of the combination, and the order is very important because that leads to the toxicity, that leads to the breakdown of the proteins, biogenic amines inside the body, and that also influence the gut biota, and that really influence the internal physiology and the system, and that may be harmful to the entire system, and that is not conducive to the internal environment. And when we say that the gut brain axis, that inversely affects the gut brain axis, and that is called as viruddha ahar. There are 18 types of viruddha. It is a sanyoga viruddha, that is the two foods which are not really good. Combinations are very important. It is not only food ingredients, which is good for me, 6 days, but how you make the recipes, food combination, the recipes, how you take it, when you take it, the order of taking it is very important. I can give you the example. That is the milk cannot be taken by any other taste other than sweet. When I take milkshake, like fruit and milk are incompatible. Raspberry, chiku shake, mango shake, and any other shake like berry shake, strawberry shake, even though they are looking very good, fresh, and we serve in the summer season. This is the time when we serve very good mm, milkshake, but that is contraindicated. That is viruddha ahara. Sour taste, amla and milk, that is incompatible. And what is the outcome? Outcome is a skin rash, vitiligo. It is the inversely affects your vision and also your brain health, and it affects your memory. So this is a combination. Second, it is the potency. Hot versus cold should not be taken. If I take many times when you go to the restaurant, first the water is served and then the tea is served. It is hot and the cold taken together. That is incompatible because your thermodynamics, you are just challenging your system. What how you challenged me by the answers, but you are challenging. That is I welcome all the queries, but you should not challenge to your system by taking two incompatible potencies, hot and cold together. So I always say that many people they have the skin allergies. I ask them, do you take cold water and tea together? So many people say, how do you know? Because this is the thing, this is the classical wisdom that Viruddha, the manifestation, even though we know that I am taking good balanced food, but the order and the combination, the menus and the recipes are incompatible. So that knowledge of Viruddha Anna is very, very important. And again, in the classical, if you understand our wisdom, lastly, that when you come from the sunlight, hot summer, scorching heat, like 40 degrees, and you are coming, but your dadima and nanima, he used to give you the jaggery and then buttermilk and water, but not freeze water, cold water, because from heat you cannot immediately take any cold. So this is there should be some buffer. So this is a viruddha. So it is a krama viruddha, parihara viruddha, sanyoga viruddha, rashi viruddha, and all these things, that 18 types of incompatible things we have to understand, then and then only your diet becomes wholesome. Kala viruddha, cold things should not be taken when there outside there is a cold, like at night. Don't take fruits, don't take curd, yogurt or freeze water. That is a kala viruddha. So we have to understand those principles, and if we follow letter and spirit, I think then and then only your health becomes you become more healthy. And this incompatibility and Viruddhana concept is very important. Through Ahara Kranti, we can promote this. And there is a science behind it. And with IIT, Indian Institute of Technology, we have the MOU and we are working to understand the scientific basis of each and every Viruddha. What exactly happens when we have Sayoga Viruddha, Kala Viruddha, and All India Institute with IIT we are working, and hopefully we'll come out with the positive results which can be communicated and convincing to the scientific community. Thank you.
Great. Especially with this Viruddha Ahar, the things what you said, I think this information I personally feel because of Ahara Kranti and our vision of reaching to the common man. So, do you think, especially for the volunteers who are working and who will be working with the families in the rural areas, a set of information as Viruddha Ahar, Samyukta Ahar, all these things what you mentioned, do you think we can request your help in creating a set of slides of the documents so that they can have it handy and explain it? Because see, what we are doing, which you have told already, that if we invest our time in the teachers, they are going to be repeating every year to the fresh batch of students. And if we invest this time in the students, they are going to be the tomorrow's citizens, and they will be transferring the same knowledge and methods to the next generations. So because of this reason, if we can help with set of slides document so that it could be taken to a layman from a layman, because volunteers not necessarily are professionals, but at least it is something approved by you and Ayurveda Institute, that would be very, very helpful. So we will
Sure.
continue our conversation in this direction. Now I have one question. Until now, you spoke as an expert in the Ayurveda. I want you to step out of that comfort zone. And the question is, with your vast experience, okay, and knowing a little bit about Ahara Kranti, and knowing our abilities and potentials, that what we can do, what is the gist, along with Vignan Bharati, the CSIR, and organizations like that, we can, that's one we can do. The second one is, I'll just put all the things together so you would be able to answer in one go. Other one is, right now, we are working with you. I'm very happy and thanks that you are here. And in the panel, we had ICAR, we had Ministry of Women and Child Development, we also had CSIR and philanthropists, all those things. So, from your point of view, which other bodies that just should work? It may be the government, it may be the private sector, it may be the public sector. And what is your suggestion on that one? After you answer this, I have a last question about the kind of activities. I'll commit there. So at this point of time, which are the other bodies, organizations, institutions that we should work? Because our goal is not fixing with only few sections, but at the end of the day, we need to reach to all the common man. We have set a target of 100 crores, although our population is 133-35 crores. The reason is the 33-35 crores, they will not be able to make a decision today. It is the others have to make a decision for those children. So what is your suggestion?
Yes, it's a broad answer to a broad question, I think. Yes. So first of all, with GIST, with the Prabhas and Vigyan Bharati, and with All India Institute and many organizations under Ministry of Ayush, we can create the module, which is really a training module, and which has a print, audio, video, and with all media, we can create the module which really truly communicates the concept of healthy food, Samatol Ahar, Ahara Vidhi Visheshat, and Viruddha Anna, and we can help creating the visuals for that. If it is incompatible food, we will say that correct, which is the correct combination, which are not correct combinations. So that visuals we can definitely help to the simple, like from illiterate to the literate, everyone can understand in a simple and communicable. With the communication will help to give the technical inputs with all our experts that we communicate. Secondly, with CSIR labs, we can understand, and with the IITs and the under HRD, which are the technology institution and the scientific institution and the laboratories, we can try to understand what is the gene expression. That's what we are trying to understand. Effect of virechana and some Ayurvedic interventions like ghee. What is the intervention of ghee on the gut microbiota? So that is how administration of ghee before panchakarma, after panchakarma. So these science can be understood through a research mode. So that's what we can really do, because this is a forum of the scientist. We can do. We can create the technology, because food, if I say that Yavagu, but if it needs to be available practically, it should be available. So we have to really work with the food technologies. That is what my suggestion strong is, that to make it more practical, more available, we don't lose the sanctity of the science. At the same time, we make it available to everyone practically. They can carry it with their office, having the same principle of Ayurveda, the freshness and also effect also, and the taste also. They should not lose the taste. I think this technologist should really work on Ayurveda Ahar, because Ministry of Ayush with FSSAI and with Ministry of Health and the food technology, I think they have to work together and to come out with the Ayurveda Ahar as a separate category, where the proprietary and the food technologies and FPO, food business operators, they are also they also like to take up as a good business model uh, by integrating Ayurveda Ahar and food technology. I think that is the main future of making it more popular and more healthy, without keeping, because why I'm not taking Mandapay and Yavagu, and why you will also not be able to take, because there is no technology, a user friendly technology added into that. I think that is the need of an Ahara Kranti, that Kranti into technology needs to be done. I think that's what we have to really have the partnership. That's I would like to tell you. And with this, starting from supply chain management, from agriculture, also ministry, integrated farming system with the horticulture, because they're from medicinal plant borne, from environment ministry to the forest ministry, and education, HRD ministry, and health ministry. I think this is all like the bouquet, and we, if all these come together on the same platform, I think we will definitely achieve what Ahara Kranti would like to achieve. Thank you.
Wonderful. Indirectly you answered my next question. Just for the sake of audience, I'll phrase the question, and you yourself will realize that you answered the question. I had written that what kind of activities would you suggest to accomplish the goals, such as what you have put as Vidwan Bharat, Ayushman Bharat, Krushi Pradhan, and Samruddha Bharat. You intelligently covered and touched those points. Thank you very, very much. And I was looking, there are many other questions, but they're all very specific questions. But one last question I will ask, that is a bonus question. Because today, in the world, people are suffering from diabetes. So some people say that it is a lifelong, it is not reversible. Others say it is reversible, it could be done. So can you suggest something that as a diabetic person can think about, that they can practice to get some confidence, and then probably venture a little bit more into it. So as a diabetic person, if you ask Professor Tanujaji, what should I do? Your
Yes,
response.
it's great. Actually, we have to understand Rogam, it is the principle in Ayurveda. If we want Aushad, medicine, the sutra says that Rogam adau parikshet tato anantaram aushadam. First, you understand the disease, examine the disease, then you get the solution. So the diabetes, according to Ayurveda, is a prameha and it is a yapya. That is a kashta sadhya. It comes along with you. You have to learn to live with it. You have to create a friendship with your condition, the disease, what you have. Then you will learn how to live with diabetes. That is what Ayurveda does not say. It says that if early condition, because it is a lifestyle disorder, there cannot be one pill which will cure it. The solution, because the answer is Rogam Adau Parikshet. If it is a lifestyle disorder, you will get 100% relief when you change your lifestyle. That is the answer. So it says that you have the pill, you take, there are many herbs which are really useful and that will definitely bring down your HbA1c, glycosylated hemoglobin. If it is 8, I am sure it will bring down to the normal limit below 6. I am sure within 2 months, within 3 months. But what is the pathya you have to follow? You have to walk 30 minutes a day. You have to do exercise. Ayurveda says that the medicine solution of diabetes, Sahasra Yojana, you have to walk Sahasra Yojana. Minimum half an hour you have to walk, you have to do exercise, and you have to control your food intake. Like control means you have to be mindfully, you have to eat in the diabetes. You have to plan your diet because diabetes through a good diet, balanced diet, changing your diet, food habits, I think 50% of your um, worries will be relieved. Then you can add, there are some herbs like Meheshu Nishamalki, Avla and Haldi and Methi, fenugreek. I think these are the herbs if you take regularly along with cinnamon, dalchini, that really I have seen. If you take it continuously for 2 months, that brings down your glycosylated hemoglobin down to 1% if you follow the rules of the diet. It is said that you have to understand and you have to balance your body clock with the universal clock. So when the solar energy is high, that means from sunrise to sunset, if you adjust your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and after sunset to sunrise, nothing to be taken, I think that solar energy will stimulate your Agni and that will definitely enhance your basic metabolic rate and digesting the extra sugar. I think that will definitely help you balance your increased blood sugar level postprandial.
Terrific, terrific. I think that would be the last question. So before handing it over to Leena ji, a couple of things. One is it is night time. Whole world is trying to sleep in Bharat, although they are fighting with the pandemic. We stay so far. We are all helpless. We don't know, but I am sure India is in safe hands and they will come over it. Second thing is really, really appreciate you about your inputs. Let me draw two specific aspects out of this. Number one, your module, what you said, print, audio, and visual for illiterate to literate, that particular module will be extremely, extremely useful and helpful. And because it is coming from you under your leadership and the subject matter expertise, I am sure Ahar Kranti will move much faster. The second thing is your bouquet description about the different bodies and institutions coming together and working. As you know, and just for the sake of audience, the panel discussion during the launch, whether it is Ministry of Women and Child Development or CSIR or ICAR, we visited Professor Balram Raghavan for ICMR, but all who were present were extremely committed. And many people whom we have approached later also extremely committed that this is something that we need to do. And we will try to do it. And I am very glad that in the bouquet, one of the flower is going to be Ayurveda, and that is the one which is going to give a lot of fragrance to the rest of the world. So with that, we will be in touch with you. We are going to bother you, but I don't know whether it will be pleasure to you or not. But the botheration is for the general masses, and we want to have Bharat become Samruddha Bharat, and that is all our efforts. It doesn't matter which timeline we are. But with those few words from me, I will hand it over to Professor Leena Pattarkine, and she is a professor of biotechnology, and she is also program director, and she is also what you call the capital area biotechnology partnership what they have in University of Harrisburg. So she's a director for that as well. So with that, Leena ji.
Namaste, Tanujaji.
Thank you.
It has been so enlightening and so invigorating to listen to you. My family, I don't want to make it personal, but we have been following Ayurveda in my family. I teach
That's great.
nanotechnology, yeah. So, and I preach it to my neighbors with these, kashta and kadha and all those things. And people have given me really nice feedback about it. So, I really appreciate learning from the person who epitomizes, the knowledge base for Ayurveda. So, thank you very much for sharing your knowledge. Particularly, I am very delighted to see that your recommendations for making it more contemporary, making it appealing and more agile for the current scenario, so people understand the terms, and we can enrich it by using integration of technology into it. And listening to you with the supply chain management topics, and all those terms are very trending terms, so I'm really delighted how you are interfacing and seamlessly transitioning the thousands of year old wisdom into something which can be contemporary. So thank you so much for sharing that approach and knowledge. I also appreciate all the audiences who have joined. Last but not the least, Ahar Kranti and Yellowji for spearheading these initiative into different areas. To see Shamalaji, who is a practitioner, your Ayurveda practitioner, to kind of be on the panel, and youngsters like Rashmi, who are willing to jump into the thing with new and young mindset and trying to contribute. So this is very nice. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. And I'm very sure that something that comes out of it is going to be completely positive and beneficial. So thank you, everyone. Namaste.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you. It is a great honor and pleasure